Hello, this is Dr. Paul Cottrell, and I am going to do an update on the markets, the S&P 500, Bitcoin through the ETF BITO, and the oil futures market. I'm doing this analysis on 5/9/2025 before the markets open. Now, before I do the analysis, please go to my website, the-studio-reykjavik.com. And if you would like to help support the work that I do, you can donate on my website. You can donate through Stripe, PayPal, or buy me a coffee. Just click the link and it'll allow you to donate. All the videos I do are for free. I also have live broadcast that you can watch my live streams, and you can listen to audio files from previous podcasts and download them. So take a look at that. I also have lots of different products. I have ebooks. I also have course courses that I created, these classes in immunology and pulmonology for only $50. You get lots of videos, lots of PDFs. You learn about pulmonology and immunology. You get a unique password, and you can log in as many times as you want, take a look at those videos and download the PDF files. You get a unique password once you pay for the class, and you just log in with that unique password, and then it'll allow you to get into the coursework. You can learn at your own pace. It's a great way to learn about pulmonology and immunology. Now, I also have supplements. Now, let's talk about some of them. I have a structural nano silver toothpaste. I also have Max 35 and Max 14, which is a structural nano silver liquid. You just take a teaspoon a day, gargle about 20, 30 seconds, swish it in your mouth and swallow. It'll help to boost up your immune system. The structural nano silver gel, it's a dual purpose product. I have two types. You have the tube form and also the quick dispenser. You use them the same way. You can use it as a daily skincare. If you're not feeling well, put it on your hands, around your mouth, around your eyes, around your nose, around your ears, lightly coat your nostrils. It stays active for 5.5 hours. You can also apply it on a wound. It'll help to heal the wound. And you can use it as you can use it as an aftershave and a skincare. Structural nano silver soaps, I have four varieties. I have the charcoal tea tree, lemongrass, peppermint, and lavender. I also have lozenges and drops. For the drops, I have blueberry, honey and lemon, and cherry. And for what's in stock for the lozenges, I have elderberry zinc. Get a few bags for your household. It's very important to take, especially during the allergy season. You want to mitigate any irritation that you may have in your throat right away. Now, probiotic, I have two types. The first one that I'm going to talk about is the probiotic that's in a veggie cap form. It's a very high quality probiotic. Cleanse is a 30 parts per million structural nanosilver liquid. The max 35 and the max 14 are 35 and 14 parts per million, respectively. Again, I also have that silver gel in a quick dispenser form, and I have a great multivitamin. And this multivitamin is easy to digest, and it has a good foundation to build off of. It has vitamin A, vitamin C, D3, E, B1, B2, B3, B6, folate, B12, biotin. So it's a great way to start. It has zinc and manganese. So, and iodine. So it's a great multivitamin to build off of and stack. So please go to my store and get this very easy to digest multivitamin. I have C60, and C60 is a very strong antioxidant, soaks up free radicals, helps to boost up your energy levels, helps the health of the mitochondria, even helps the health of the neurons. And by taking C60 every day, over time, what you're going to notice is your energy levels are better. You're slowing down the aging process. You're reducing the stress at the cellular and the tissue level, your organs will perform better, your immune system will perform better, your endocrine system will perform better, your neurons will perform better. And by taking C60, you're slowing down the aging process and increasing your vitality. So please go to my store and get get the C60. You can get it in a 2-ounce, a 4-ounce, or an 8-ounce configuration. It is cheaper per ounce to get the higher ounce configuration. You can get it in extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or MCT coconut oil. Take a teaspoon a day on an empty stomach for best absorption. If you're working out, take the C60 before your workout to soak up the free radicals that are produced during your workout, and you'll notice that you'll recover quicker. It's something that I've been taking since 2016 every day. I also have vitamin D3, very important for gene expression and to absorb calcium, helps with bone density. It also helps with cellular processes in the cell and helps to get rid of cells that need to go into apoptosis. Vitamin C and magnesium is a great supplement for your brain health because magnesium is important for brain function. Vitamin C helps with the skin and for your immune system. You should be taking magnesium to increase the efficacy of D3. Omega-3, very important for cardiovascular health. It prevents the red blood cells from over-sticking, so it helps to reduce clot formation. And omega-3 helps to bring down LDL levels and increase your HDL levels. When you bring down your LDL levels, you have less LDL that oxidizes, and that means that less LDL oxidation. With less LDL oxidation, you are going to reduce the chance of plaque formation. Ashwagandha root helps to control your cortisol levels and your blood glucose levels. Very important to bring down inflammation. That helps with your immune system and your cardiovascular system. Good Night Formula helps to get you into 3 cycles of REM sleep and deep sleep. That's going to allow you to consolidate memory, detoxify your central nervous system, and to be well rested. It has tryptophan, melatonin, GABA, passion flower. The premium probiotic, this one is the powdered version. This is the one that I take every day. Just take a small scooper each day, mix it with soft foods, filtered water. Resveratrol, very important as an antioxidant. I've been taking resveratrol for decades. Resveratrol will soak up free radicals, help with the health of the mitochondria. So you'll have more ATP. It helps with youthful gene expression, and it also helps to get rid of cells that are in senescence. Vitamin B complex is a great complex to help with your mitochondrial health. The first 4 B vitamins help with the mitochondria. It's going to boost up your energy levels. Also, the vitamin B complex supercharges your cellular metabolism, and B12 helps to protect your neurons. Turmeric will bring down inflammation. It's also an antioxidant, so it's going to soak up free radicals. It stacks really well with ashwagandha root to help with the immune system and your cardiovascular health. Magnesium and zinc, great way to improve your immune system and your brain function. Lignans helps to bring down inflammation. It also soaks up free radicals. It boosts up your immune system and helps with your endocrine system. Collagen is a powder. You should be taking it every day. It'll help with your skin, your hair, your nails. It'll also help with your musculature, your bones, and your joints. Digestive enzyme complex reduces the load on your pancreas. It helps to break up carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. Clarity factor removes that brain fog, allows you to focus at work, at school. Even if you're retired, it allows you to be able to focus on tasks. It also helps to support memory. So when you have your neurons firing better, you're going to have less brain fog. You're going to be able to concentrate better. You're going to be able to sleep better. And not only that, when your neurons are firing and you're learning new things and you're concentrating, then what you're going to have is better neuroplasticity. So that means that your brain function will perform better over time. And what also is important is having those neurons firing and learning new things. You're going to build this positive neuroplasticity into your geriatric years. Olive leaf extract, dual purpose product. It helps to bring down inflammation and helps you to control your lipid profile, improves your lipid profile. So by improving your lipid profile, you're reducing cardiovascular disease. And by bringing down inflammation, you're helping the immune system and helping your blood vessels. A lot of people don't know that if you have vascular inflammation, you are increasing your chances of plaque formation. Myotrol. Myotrol is a supplement that you should be taking to build muscle and to gain muscle. It helps with the gene expression to build muscle and to maintain it. It has flavonoids, polyphenols, and lignans to help with that gene expression. Very important to take once you turn age 40. Myotrol can also be used by athletes to be able to gain muscle. So if you're an athlete, younger or older, take Myotrol. But even if you're not an athlete and you're 40 years of age, you should be taking Myotrol to maintain and build muscle. Do some resistance training on top of it. Boomer Boost is a powder. It has 68 nutrients. It has a very comprehensive profile. So take a look at the label. It's very extensive. It's a great supplement. Should be taking every day. And what it does is it's going to boost up your metabolism. You're going to lose weight. You're going to have lots of energy throughout the day. You're going to have more vitality. It also helps with cardiovascular health and brain function and musculature. So it's a great supplement to start with. I also have high density proteins, gladiator barley, and heirloom barley. Heirloom barley helps with detoxification of your body, brings down inflammation, and soaks up free radicals with superoxide dismutase. Gladiator barley has all the benefits of heirloom barley, but it also helps with building strength. Now, I take Boomer Boost and Gladiator barley together. You can take Boomer Boost with heirloom barley, you can take Boomer Boost with Gladiator barley, or you can just take them separately. It's up to you. But the point here is to take a full scooper of Boomer Boost, take a full scooper of the barley, either the Gladiator or the heirloom. Some people take a half a scoop, but I take a full scoop. And what you'll notice is that you're detoxifying your body, you have less inflammation, you're going to recover quicker after your workouts, your immune system is going to perform better, and you're going to be building strength. I also have ubiquinol in stock. Ubiquinol is the most bioavailable form of CoQ10 that you can buy. Most people that take CoQ10, they're taking the wrong type. Ubiquinol is the most bioavailable form. You can't get anything better than what I'm selling. And ubiquinol will help to soak up free radicals, help with the health of the mitochondria. You're going to have more energy and it protects your neurons. Very important to be taking ubiquinol once you turn age 40. NAD plus is a supplement that will boost up your NAD plus levels, increase your energy, help to repair your DNA damage, and to protect your neurons. Extremely important to take if you are age 40 or older. Stack ubiquinol and NAD plus together to get the max benefit. Vitamin K2 MK7 is great for your cardiovascular health and for your bone health. It stacks really well with D3. Nattokinase helps to break up clots because it's fibrinolytic, and nattokinase helps to bring down your LDL levels and increase your HDL levels. So nattokinase is really important for cardiovascular health. I have 2 different types of deodorants made from essential oils from the Himalayas, all natural, no aluminum, no baking soda, very high quality. You can get it in citrus or in peppermint, lavender, and tea tree. Get a few bars for your household. Very high quality deodorants. They're dual purpose. Use it as a deodorant and it will help to detoxify your body. And I'm not going to go over in detail, but I have also anti-aging boxes and longevity boxes at different price points to allow you to start on your health journey. I curated them in such a way where I put different types of products in the box to allow you to know how to stack, and I reduce the price. So if you get an anti-aging box or a longevity box, it is cheaper versus buying the products individually. So that's what I have at my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. Please help support my work. All these videos that I do are for free. So please make sure you subscribe, share the links. I have 4 channels on YouTube, Brighteon, Bitchute, and Rumble. Please subscribe to all those channels. All the links are in the description of this video and all my videos. So with that said, what we're going to do now is go over the market. So the first one that we're going to go over is the S&P 500. All right. Let me share my screen here. Okay, what's on the screen here is SPY, which is the ETF for the S&P 500. Okay, so we're going to talk in terms of SPY. Now, we have, for the ones that have been paying attention for quite a while here, I have 2 fib sequences. I have the long fib sequence that starts with the crash of 2020, and a smaller fib sequence that starts in around October or so of 2021. And obviously we have the sell-off that took place this year, represented right here on the right side of the chart. So what's important to realize is that I've been very accurate in telling you where those support levels are based on these overlaps of the fib sequence, the Fibonacci sequences, the small one and the large one. So what we have here is, you notice that on that very on the day that the market sold off a lot, it stopped at the 50% retracement on the small fib sequence. And all right, and that was at 481. Okay, and it started to go up. So this support level was confirmed and is a strong support level. Another interesting feature here is that the overlap of the 36% retracement on the small fib sequence and the 23% retracement, and how it was battling. So that was a support level and a resistance level when it broke. And then the 23% retracement, as you can see, there was a support level. It came up to 575, and then it was fighting it and then broke. There was a stop. There was a gap down beyond the 23 to 20%, and that happens to be at around the 550 mark. So with that said, what's the most important features going forward here? We have a strong support level at 481. That's at the 50% retracement. That's from the beginning of this rally here to the all-time high, and then it coming down. So the 50% retracement is a major support level. There's also a support level at about the 515 mark because of this near overlap between the 36% and the 23%. We have a support level at about the 550. And we also have a resistance level at the 575. Okay. Now you notice at the 575, there's no fib retracement, right? So it's more psychological. There's more of a psychological aspect to it than than a structural, what I call structural. Structural is with the fib sequence. So 575 is more of a psychological barrier, not a structural barrier. Now, what is interesting is when the market was starting to sell off, it bounced off of the 23% retracement because of the algorithmic trading. The reason why this works is because a lot of traders are looking at the behavior of the market, and there's a lot of algorithmic trading that uses the fib sequence. That's the reason why it works. So it bounces off, and then 575 is a round psychological number, and it broke. It came down. So there was this dead cat bounce, and then it retested the 23% retracement, and then gapped down, and then was supported at the 515 mark, fighting it, and then bad news was coming in about the trade agreements, tariff war, and then supported at the 50% retracement. Okay, so going forward, what's going on here? We have a support level at 550. All right. And we are trading at 565. All right. So 550 is a support level, not very strong support level, because it's not part of the larger fib sequence retracement. It's part of the small fib sequence retracement. If it's part of the long, if there's an overlap between the long and the large and the small fib sequence, then that's a very strong support level. All right. And that's why the 61% retracement with the 38% retracement, that's strong. The 38% retracement with the 23% retracement, that's strong. But this 23% retracement is not a very strong, but it is structural. There is a little bit of a structure to it. All right. So 550 is a support level. 575 is a resistance level. So we are in this trading range that's taking place between 550 and 575. That's happening right now. If trade news is positive, we are going to break the 575, and I don't believe that it's going to take much to break it. I think we will retest it, and it probably will come back down. The shorts, there are probably some shorts at the 575, and they'll try to short it. But I think that the third go around, it'll break it, and it'll break it hard and go past, and then now we're talking at the 5.850, the 5.85 range. All right. So there's a trading range that's starting to build up here, 550 and 575. Positive news for trade, we're most likely going to break the 575. All right. So that's the S&P 500. If we get negative news, then it's going to retest the 550. If it's really negative, then we're going to be retesting the 515 level. Now, 500 was not a structural. If you notice, it wasn't structural. So it blew through the 500 very quickly. So that's the reason why it's important to tease out what is psychological and what is structural. Okay, so again, structural, but a little bit weaker. The 550, 575 is a behavior that took place with the dead cat bounce, but is not structural because there's not a fib retracement on it. So there's going to be a trading range between 550 and 575 until we get positive trade balance news. Okay, now let's take a look at let's take a look at oil now. Let me share my screen. Okay, this is oil futures. Okay, and there's two fib sequences. This is the first time I've shown you this, so I'll walk you through this. So the fib sequence, the large fib sequence, is from the crash of 2020 all the way to the all-time high after 2020. All right. What the highest price was after 2020. So we're looking at about 130 for the oil futures, 130.50. So, and then the sell-off, all right? And that sell-off has been continuing on, for quite a while in the oil futures that people don't really realize. But, from the all-time high, there's been a relative decline going all the way back, starting in 2021. Okay. With the small fib sequence, it's from the all-time high to where we're trading at right now. Now, it's important to realize that there is a very strong support level at the 61% retracement. And the 61% retracement happens to be at the around 53.6 or 0.7. So around 54 is a major support level. Now, as of this recording, oil was trading at 61.24. Okay. Now, what is interesting here is that pre-COVID, this is the COVID crash. Pre-COVID, there was a trading range that was taking place here. Okay. And that was due to a lot of oil shale production coming onto market, suppressing the price. So this trading range, I think, is indicative of what we could be seeing going forward for a little while, for a few months. And this trading range is a bit wide. It can be anywhere from like 51 all the way to, 61 or so. So there's like a $10 swing here. Now, if you average this out, it's about the 61% retracement from this time series, this price series here. And that happens to be at about 54. So 54 is a major support level, major support level. Now, from a fundamental point of view, there are oil producers in the United States that they're below their break even if they sell oil below $61 or $62 a barrel. But it's not that simple. You have different tiers of efficiency of the well and of the companies. So the lower tier efficient companies, they're going to have to start capping wells if the futures market is trading oil below 61 or $60 a barrel for a few months. They'll have to cap their well. So you'll start to notice that production will start to decline if oil is trading over 3 or 4 months below 60. There's another tier group that at about 55, they have to cap the well. So if oil was trading below 55 for 3 months or so, they'll cap their well. If oil was trading below 50, there's a lot more oil wells that will be capped, and they'll stop their production. And so depending on the number of oil wells at the different tranches, these different tiers, depends on how much oil will not come onto the market when they cap their well. So it's not as simple as just the break even at 61 or 60. It depends on the well, depends on the producer, all right, and the efficiencies of the company. So so there are 3 tiers. There's the 60, to make it simple, 60 tier level. Below 60, they have to cap. The 55, below 55, they have to cap, or the ones that hit below 50. Now, it is obvious that there was times when it was below 50, but it's rare. It's very rare. So this trading range is probably what we're going to probably see to stabilize. Now, if tariff news starts to go up, most likely we're going to see an appreciation of the oil, but I don't think it's going to go like the 90 or anything like that. It'll be in the high end of the trading range, which I think at the high end, it's about 65. So you have a very strong support level at $54 a barrel. And you could have a trading range anywhere from 54 to about 65. All right. It's now if you have negative news from the tariff war, then what you're going to hear, because there's potential demand destruction, this is going to start selling and testing that 54 barrier, which is the 61% retracement, and it's potentially going to hit 50. When that does happen, it's not going to be down there very long, and therefore it's good to buy into ETFs that are tied into longing oil. So the way I'm playing this is that if barrels of oil go down to 55, I'm buying. If or lower. If it is approaching 62, 63, 64, I'm selling. Because I think that there's going to be a trading range between about 54 to 65. All right. That's oil. Oil. And let me share Bitcoin ETF. Okay, now Bitcoin ETFs have tracking error to actually the price of Bitcoin. All right, so it's not one for one. There is tracking error. But this is a long ETF, there's also short ETFs. BITO is the long ETF for Bitcoin, and the short is BITI. So I'm just doing the analysis on the BITO, the longing of Bitcoin. Again, there's tracking error. So it's not one for one, but when the price goes up, BITO goes up. When the price goes down for Bitcoin, the price for BITO goes down. But it's not at the same pace, right? The acceleration and the velocity of the price is not the same. All right. Now, but this is the safest way to trade Bitcoin. Now, I and these ETFs are relatively new, so there's not a whole lot of data out there. But what we're looking at here is two fib sequences. One at the all-time high of BITO, which is within this time series, which is 44.29. And we had, a large sell-off, and this ETF was at 9.48. And then it started to go back up. Now, this big decline was happening in 2021. And then it started to march up again. All right. Again, there is tracking error with BITO with Bitcoin, the actual Bitcoin spot. Now, we have another fib sequence that's starting at the all-time low and going to the recent high. All right, for the ETF, and then coming back down. All right. Now, if you take a look at just the small fib sequence, which is kind of hard to read in a way, but if you just take a look at the small fib sequence, all right. So in 2025, all right, we have all this price action that's taking place. Okay, this is 2025, and the big sell-off. All right. But what is interesting to note here is, like, just before that happened, we had, from the small fib sequence, when the market when this ETF was starting to go down, and prices were fluctuating for Bitcoin. This is all happening before the election. This is happening after. This is happening as we're moving towards the election. So this here, all right, is bottoming out at, it's playing, a lot of movement at the 61% retracement. It did go below, but there was a lot of activity going at the 61% retracement and being supported by the 23% retracement from the larger fib sequence. And that's the reason why it's important to look at two fib sequences. So this price action in 2024 pre-election was dictated by the 61% and the 23% retracement. Okay. So there was this 23% retracement in the long fib sequence. So it's fighting it. And then in the positive news coming out with the Trump getting elected, looks like he's going to win. He wins. There's this end of the year rally, right? And that's this price action. Now, what's interesting is that it stops at the 23% retracement it stops almost exact from the small fib sequence and it's fighting. You can see it's fighting it, fighting, and then breaks through and then comes back down with the longer fib sequence of the 50% retracement. So when you look at this price drop, this right here, this dynamic that was taking place before 2025 is the 50% retracement of this price decline. So that's the reason why these fib sequences, you can kind of go back in time and see that there is this behavior that echoes into the price action. And this is right, that's indicative of it. This right here, okay, it's 50% retracement. You would think that it would keep on going up, but the tariff problem starts to take place. Okay. So we have this sell-off. There's a high correlation between BITO and equities, especially S&P 500 and maybe even tech. So what we have here is this price coming down. All right. And it's starting to bottom out again at another long fib sequence of 23%, the 23% retracement from this overall decline. So we have confirmation here, three confirmations of the importance of this fib overlap and if this fib sequence, especially over the long one. We have the 50%. We have the 23% that has been confirmed, right? So you have the 23% confirmed here, and then the 50% confirmed here. Okay, so what does this mean? All right, now it's trading as of this screenshot at 2140. That's approximately 101, 102, but probably about 102,000 per Bitcoin. But again, it's not one for one with the ETF and Bitcoin because there's tracking error. Now, we're right at this trading of this screenshot is right at the 50% retracement of the small fib sequence. Okay, so we bounced off of the 23% retracement, 23% retracement on the long fib sequence. We bounced off of that. And then we're approaching the 50% retracement of this, of the 50% retracement of this time series here, starting from here to here. So we're at the 50% level. So as Bitcoin goes up, this ETF will continue to go up. But there's some dynamics here. So there is a little bit of a there's somewhat of a there is a resistance point right now at 50. All right. So 20, if I can, 2149 is a resistance level. That's my point. So 2149 is a resistance point. So 2150, that's resistance. It has to break that before we start to see that it starts going to march back up to the 50% retrace. This one is a strong resistance level right here. Right? And that's going to be That's going to be at approximately 80, 83. It's hard to see it. 80, I think it's 83. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I lost it. There's BITO. There we go. All right. So we have 2140, and that's right at that 50% retracement. Okay. And there is another resistant. All right. There's another resistance level that's popping up at 2442. And that's the 38% retracement. And then there's going to be a very strong resistance level at 2662. Okay. So those are some of the trading range, trading ranges for the BITO ETF. Now, as Bitcoin starts to go up again, it's going to, this ETF will continue to go up, but it's going to have some resistance points. And again, one resistance point, which probably will break today if Bitcoin goes up, is this 50% resistance point at 2149. The next resistance point is going to be 2442. And that's going to be the 38% retracement. It's probably not going to be that strong of a resistance, but it will be a resistance. And the next big resistance point would be the 2662. So resistance at 2149, 2442, and 2662. Those are to look at, right? In terms of resistance as it's moving upward. Now, in terms of support, all right, again, 63% retracement is a support level. It's around in the center of this trading range that was starting to develop last year and even this year. And it is further supported by the 23% retracement. So we're looking at a support level in the near term of, and it's overlap, so it's hard to read it. We're looking at 1855 as a support level, approximately. 1855, about 18. But 18 for the BITO ETF. So support at 18, resistance at 2149, 2442, and 2662. So those are the support levels and resistance levels for BITO. Also, we went over the oil market and we went over SPY, which is the ETF for the S&P 500. So hopefully you learned something and it'll help you to navigate for next week. I'll continue to keep these things updated and give you my perspective on what's going on. I do these live streams, as the market is trading, to keep you updated. So please help support my work by going to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. Get the products that I offer, stack them the way I tell you to slow down the aging process and boost up your immune system. And just pay attention to what I've been saying through the live streams and you'll make some money. All right. I'm giving you some really good intel here. So please help support my work. You can donate, you can purchase products, and you can share the links. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.